Recommendations for post-surgical treatment are still the same as 60 years ago, and now a revolutionary product has come along to change the standards of care. Hello, my name is Ilya. I'm the founder and CEO of ComeBack Mobility. When I sold my previous startup and became a fighter, I got injured, spent 6 months in rehabilitation, and came up with a new medical device solution. And that's how I found unmet need and market opportunity. Weight-bearing protocols are not data-driven, so there is no consensus among surgeons. This graph shows the results of 111 surgeons surveyed, and as you can see, for the same tibial-patellar fracture, some surgeons allow patients to start weight-bearing immediately, while others prescribe non-weight-bearing for 12 weeks. And there are partial weight-bearing prescriptions, when doctors ask patients to put 25 or 50% of their body weight, and patient has no idea how to follow this prescription. And I was surprised to learn that one of the major factors contributing to complications is improper weight-bearing measurement. In average, in 6% of lower limb fractures, the internal fixation fails. In 8%, the bone doesn't heal. And more than 20% of patients suffer pain for more than 3 months after surgery. There are more than 5 million cases in the US where weight-bearing protocols are required. So why there is still no solution on the market? Finally, we have developed one. Using a CT scan, we provide biomechanical analysis to determine the optimal load that will lead to faster bone callus formation and securing internal fixation safety. Here are some examples of interfragmentary movement calculations and its relation to weight-bearing percent. And with our FDA-cleared smart crutch tips and new treatment protocols, patients can start loading their legs earlier without the risk of damaging implants, expedite recovery, and significantly reduce chance for complications. Here are some scientific evidence. A recent study on rats proved that individual mechanical loading increases bone formation during the remodeling phase of bone healing, and it was a huge improvement, especially in the defect in cortical fragment periphery, where the callus volume was up to 130% more. Another study on tibial fracture shows that if a patient doesn't follow weight-bearing restrictions, more elements fall outside the healing window, which slows down the healing process. The next study was done with sheep and then with 64 patients, and shows much better bone mineralization when the micro movements in a fracture zone was in a range between 0.5 to 1 millimeter compared to standard and 2 millimeters. And the median time for full weight bearing was 5 weeks faster. Our first publication proved that the smart crutch tips is a valid tool for clinical use. Our satisfaction trial shows that it's so easy to use that on average it takes 6 minutes to train a patient to follow a weight-bearing protocol. Clinical trial with 50 patients at NYU Langone Health shows more than 50% higher compliance to weight-bearing protocols with our device. In September 2024, we are planning to launch a study with 10 patients to validate our interfragmentary motion prediction, evaluate the possible start time for partial weight bearing, and assess the optimal rate of load increase from the second to the 12th week. After achieving the results, we plan to initiate a large research with 250 patients to compare patient complications between standard of care and our new approach with weight bearing based on biomechanical analysis and with smart crutch tips for at-home patient compliance. Now let's talk about the regulations. We established our own manufacturing and developed 400 devices. This FDA cleared and registered with CMS, FCC, HIPAA, and quality management system have been successfully implemented. Also, we have 3 issued and 1 pending patents. We helped more than 250 patients to quit crutches faster and without complications. So our patients are really happy with us. Our reimbursement plan is simple. Providers can generate additional revenue with CPT codes for initial device setup, biofeedback training, and remote patient monitoring. For hip femoral neck fracture that has more than 1 million cases per year in the US, with complications such as non-union of 15%, delayed healing 9%, and 15% of internal fixation failure, using our technology, we estimate improvements in these areas, potentially saving payers up to $7 billion. For femoral shaft fracture, we assume the potential saving can be almost $2 billion. For distal femoral fracture, more than 800 million. For tibial patellar fracture, about 2 billion. For tibial shaft, almost 1 billion of potential savings. And for tibial pilon fracture, more than 1 billion. In total, across 6 fracture types, we aim to prove that we can potentially save about $14 billion annually. And we assume that insurance companies will be glad to pay 25% of these savings. Now let's talk about the business. We are going to rent our devices for $500 per patient rehabilitation and sell it for $3,000. The manufacturing cost is just $300. We plan to distribute the product through hospitals, PT clinics, and online platforms, collaborating with durable medical equipment suppliers, leading healthcare providers, key opinion leaders, and insurance companies. Our go-to-market strategy includes targeted campaigns, sales outreach, and patient education, starting with pilot programs in key hospitals and expanding based on success. Experience of our team covers the entire spectrum of functions related to software, hardware, bone tissue engineering, orthopedic surgery, and medical device business. That's why our mentors and investors from top-level hospitals are confident in our success.